Hello guys, how are you? Hope everything is fine. At this occasion, I will present the storyline of a movie called The Colony which was released in 2021. This movie tells about the life of the Earth which has ended due to war, pandemic and crisis. The elites decided to live on another planet called Kepler. One day they sent a messenger to see the state of the Earth at that time. Unfortunately, they had an accident while entering the atmosphere and found the Earth in a state they did not imagine. Curious about the storyline? Don't forget to press the like, subscribe, Professor Yellow or cap and bell buttons before you start so you don't miss the next video. The film begins with a scene where a spaceship crashed towards Earth due to an error. The plane is sent on a mission called Ulysses to investigate the viability of the Earth after the pandemics and wars that occurred in the past. Soon, a crew member of the plane woke up on the beach. The crew was named Black, and after that she immediately checked the plane. On the plane, Black found his partner, Tucker, who was injured and unable to walk. Despite having an accident, both of them decided to resume their mission. Black immediately went along the beach and investigated whether the creatures around the beach could still reproduce. This was done because the current condition of planet Kepler did not allow reproduction, so they were on the verge of extinction. Meanwhile, Tucker was unable to walk, but he stayed in the plane and communicated with Black remotely. He also ensured that communication with Kepler was maintained. After walking quite a distance observing the surroundings, the weather started to change, and it looked like a storm was coming. Knowing this, Tucker told Black to return to the plane. Things got worse, and Black tried to get back on the plane with fog shrouding the place. Because it was difficult to see in the fog, Tucker finally fired a beam of light to tell Black his position. Soon Tucker saw someone passing in front of his plane, and he thought it was Black. Meanwhile, Black, who arrived at the place where her plane crashed, did not find Tucker and their plane mysteriously disappeared. Black tried to observe his surroundings, and he found a group of people called the Mods, not far from where he was. Suddenly a group of men attacked Black. Apparently they were the ones who caught Tucker and took his plane. Black also was brought to a well where Tucker also locked up. Black observed that the people who caught both of them were speaking a foreign language they had never heard of before. When locked up in the well, it turned out that Tucker was seriously injured in the chest due to being stabbed by those who caught him. Seeing this, Black tried to ask the people who caught them for help. Black was eventually brought out of the well, but instead she was ordered to heal one of those injured by Tucker's flare. Black finally tried to heal the person's wounds with medical equipment on board her plane. She also took some medical equipment secretly to cure Tucker. After getting to the well, Black told Tucker that the group that caught them was a colony and they have children in between. They had to immediately tell Kepler about it with a device called a biometer. Even though Black had tried to treat Tucker, but due to the loss of a lot of blood, Tucker felt he couldn't hold on. He then asked Black to continue on her mission and look for the device. Soon the tide was going high, and they both almost drowned in the well. The people outside immediately lifted Black and then tied her somewhere, while she also saw Black's corpse being released into the sea, accompanied by a blazing fire. Seeing that happened, Black remembered the time when she was staying with his father. His father lit a match and told Black not to be afraid of anything and not to give up. Black's father was apparently also part of the first Ulysses' first mission, but his plane mysteriously disappeared after it landed on Earth. Black still remembered his father's words where he said that the mission was carried out for many people and they must not think about themselves. The next day, Black was returned to the well, and from the well she saw a biometer box brought by the children. Black tried to call the child and one of them named Mila came, and she was willing to help Black. But suddenly a riot broke out and all the children were hidden in the well. From inside the well, Black peeked and she saw Mila, who was carrying a biometer box caught by a group of people. After the riots subsided, a woman named Nafri came to look for her daughter, Mila, in the well. Because she couldn't find his daughter, Nafri finally went to find Mila in that place, and Black, who saw her, immediately followed her from behind. Nafri found Mila's doll lying on the ground. Soon she left the place to find Mila. Black continued to follow Nafri and they arrived at the group that captured Mila. They were hiding while looking around. Seeing his daughter, who was kidnapped by the gang, Nafri tried to fire Tucker's flare gun. Black, who saw this, trying to prevent Nafri because the gun would not hurt people, suggested that the gun should be used to distract them. Because Nafri didn't listen to what she suggested, Black finally beat Nafri until she fainted. Then she immediately got into the boat driven by the group that kidnapped Mila and joined the other captives. Turns out they were taken to a bigger ship. Arriving there, the captives were then separated by age and gender. On inspection, one of them finds a necklace that Black was wearing, and he brought Black to his leader, Gibson. Gibson turns out to be Father Black's teammate on the first Ulysses mission. Gibson told Black that his father didn't survive the mods uprising that took place there. But thanks to Black's father, who made a power-generating device, they were able to survive in that place. Gibson also introduced Black to an adopted child named Nail. Nail apparently really likes Black, who was an astronaut. Gibson also allowed Black to stay in that place. One day, Black visited Nail, who was studying in his room. Unexpectedly, Nail shows something to Black, namely a plant seed. Nail also said the same thing that Black's father had said about the seedling. Black also asked who taught Nail about it. Nail also said that the person who taught him was Christopher, who lived near the engine cabin. Feeling curious, Black finally tried to reach the cabin that Nail said armed with a map. Finally, Black arrived at the cabin. She was surprised that Christopher, whom Nail called, was his own father. Not long after, Gibson came to the place. He then explained to Black that the rebellion that occurred at that time was actually led by Black's father, Christopher. Gibson also said that at that time Christopher fell in love with a girl from the mods and left him. Black, who had been waiting for his father's return for 15 years and worked hard to get into the mission, was very disappointed. After that, Black decided to send a biometer from a weather station at sea. That evening, Black was invited to dinner by Gibson and his family, and suddenly the lights went out. Gibson's men informed that at that time there had been an intrusion, and they immediately looked for the intruder. Apparently the intruder was Nafri, who was looking for Mila. Learning to join the search for compilers, Black was suddenly attacked by Nafri that injured her neck. Nafri asked Black to take him to Mila. But when they were about to meet Mila, Gibson's men came and immediately took Nafri away from that place. Before leaving, Nafri shouted that Gibson only kidnapped girls and not the boy. Shortly after, the wound on Black's neck was treated by a girl in a room. At that time, Black realized that the posters on the corners of the room were only shows about female reproduction. Gibson then explained what all of these were about. He said that the Keeper people who would come to Earth will need women for reproduction. He also said that the women at Keeper were too old to get pregnant. That's why Gibson kidnapped the girls, so that when Keeper arrived they had a chance to reproduce. Black said it was inhumane and only exploited the girls who were living there. While they were talking, Gibson's men came with a box containing Black's biometer. However, the biometer equipment was not in the box. Gibson then ordered his men to immediately find the equipment before the high tide. He also said that Nafri would be executed the next day in the morning. After Black and his men left, it turned out that the biometer they were looking for was inside Mila's doll, which Nail was holding. Upon arriving at his room, Black found Mila hiding in the cabin. Suddenly, one of Gibson's men came to check Black's room because one of the girls managed to escape. When Gibson's men entered his room, Black immediately put something in the man's mouth until he fainted. Soon, Black brought Mila to meet Nafri, and she also met his father Christopher in his room. Christopher then told Black that he saw Gibson get off the ship to the weather station on the sea. Seeing this, Black realized that the biometer he was looking for had been found by Gibson. Black was also aware of the fact that all the things that Gibson said about his father was a lie. Nail himself was the child of Gibson's who married a mod's woman. Christopher also told Black that if Gibson managed to send a message to Keeper, then they would be in danger. Soon Black and his father and the prisoners who were on the ship caught up with Gibson's ship. Black finally managed to approach Gibson's ship, and immediately Black got into his ship to take the biometer. Gibson had threatened Black to kill Nail if Black used her weapon, as he did with Nail's mother. Having no choice, Black finally pushed Gibson off the ship and tried to immobilize Gibson in the water at the risk of her drowning. Black succeeded, but because she was too weak and almost drowned in the sea, fortunately Nafri came to save and took her back to the ship. When she woke up, Black saw his father and the other prisoners already on the boat, and they were about to head for the camp where Nafri and his people live. And the movie is over. The movie told us to not give up and to help others no matter what situation we are in. I hope you enjoy the video, and don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell button. Bye for now and see you on the next video.